Club Barcelona win at the Estadio de la Cerámica against Villarreal, but it comes at a price as Ter Stegen suffers an injury. Real Madrid battle back against Espanyol, with Vinicius Jr. turning things around from off the bench. And at Mestalla, Valencia finally get their first win of the season, moving them off the bottom of the LaLiga table.
A look at the table, or rather the results from the weeks past of match day 6, which took place throughout the course of this weekend into Monday. A lot of home teams getting victories: Alaves, Osasuna, Valencia, Real Madrid and Athletic Club. But on Sunday evening and Monday night, two teams on the road getting victories. Barça with a 5-1 win over Villarreal, and Mallorca a late victory on Monday, late winner over Real Betis. Nearly everybody scoring as well throughout the match day, which takes us indeed to the table, and that win for Mallorca puts them temporarily into the 5th spot in the table, albeit with an extra game played. Same can be said about Athletic Club with an extra game, but they'll take 3rd place. Barça still top of the table, 18 points. They've taken all 18 available to them through 6 games. Further on down the table, 2 teams remain without a win this season. Getafe, who have 4 draws in 6 games, and Las Palmas, who have lost 4 times in 6 games.
Barcelona put 5 past Villarreal to stay on top of La Liga. Another extraordinary attacking display from Hansi Flick's side. Villarreal were the first team to have the ball in the back of the net. Jeremy Pino, but from an offside position, so the goal didn't count. Baena's ball over the top. Pino had gone just a fraction too soon. Good finish, though. Down at the other end, off the post from Lamine Yamal, and Rafinha's shot blocked by Eric Bailly. Barcelona eventually got themselves in front. Lewandowski from Pablo Torre's assist. So many injuries at the moment. Hansi Flick, Pablo Torre got a start and he made the most of it. Lewandowski with the reliable finish. Koundé with a cross. And Lewandowski almost turning that one in at the back post. It's actually a fine save from Diego Koundé. Once again, Lamine Yamal plays the ball to the back post. This time it's Eric Garcia who heads it back towards the 6-yard box, back across the 6-yard box, and Robert Lewandowski with the overhead kick to make it 2. Villarreal was soon back in it. Nicolas Pepe, who was brilliant for Villarreal, squaring for Ayoze. What a start to the season he's had. Ayoze Perez, 4 goals now for him, signed from Betis in the summer. No Tieno Barry in the starting lineup for Villarreal. Nicolas Pepe and Ayoze striking up a very promising partnership. And that was Ter Stegen saving from Nicolas Pepe. This is a terrible moment for Barcelona and for football as well. Ter Stegen comes down badly on his right leg. You can see the anxiety, the reaction from the Barcelona players around him and from the referee, immediately calling the physios onto the pitch, and off he went on a stretcher, replaced by Iñaki Peña. A real blow for Barcelona and for Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Nicolas Pepe racing clear and sending this one past the substitute goalkeeper, but the flag had been raised. Nicolas Pepe just a fraction the wrong side of the last Barcelona defender, so the goal didn't stand. Easy to look at the scoreline and think that Villarreal were awful. They were not awful, and with a little bit more luck they would have scored more than they did. They were denied here by the crossbar. Jeremy Pino with the header. At the other end there was no stopping Barcelona. Pedri, Pablo Torre, and another one for Diego Conde to pick out. He took a deflection. Good afternoon for Pablo Torre, an assist and a goal. That made it 3-1. Ansu Fati was then brought down. Lamine Yamal was then brought down. Ansu Fati was watching from the bench by Eric Bailly, and Robert Lewandowski put his penalty onto the post. As you can see from these highlights, it ended 5-1. It could easily have ended 6-3. Another goal here. This time Rafinha's shot takes a deflection off of Eric Bailly, wearing the captain's armband after Ter Stegen had been taken off. And what about this for an assist? Absolutely brilliant from Lamine Yamal. Rafinha doesn't even need to break stride. And he scores on 82 minutes to make it 5-1. Superb from him. He now has 5 goals. Lewandowski with 6. Final score in the Ceramica, Villarreal 1, Barcelona 5.
At home to Espanyol, Real Madrid came from behind to earn all 3 points. Before kick-off, some of Spain's Olympic medalists were honoured at the Bernabeu, and there was a moment to pause and pay respects to the late Salvatore Schillaci, the Italian striker who was top goal scorer at the World Cup in Italy in 1990. Once the game got underway, it was Real Madrid who dominated the first half. They almost took the lead on 10 minutes. Joan Garcia made a save from Kylian Mbappe. He was then busy again, denying the Frenchman this low drive from the edge of the box. Espanyol's first effort came 6 minutes before the interval. Javi Puado from close to the halfway line couldn't quite catch out Thibaut Courtois. In the second period, Joan Garcia continued to make saves. Real Madrid were largely dominant, but now and again Espanyol threatened, and here Jofre Carreras had a good strike at goal which was deflected over the top. And then Carlos Romero from distance very nearly gave the away team the lead in spectacular fashion. Espanyol did strike first. Jofre Carreras with the cross, which deflected off Courtois for an own goal on 53 minutes. Espanyol have not won away at the Bernabeu since 1996. For 4 minutes they led, but the champions found a response. Jude Bellingham with the assist for Dani Carvajal to score the equalising goal. Joan Garcia with a good initial save from Valverde. Carlos Romero was careless in possession here. Bellingham took it from him, squeezed the cross under the Espanyol goalkeeper, and Carvajal scored his first goal of the season to make it 1-1. Jofre almost re-established the lead for Espanyol. His effort kept out by Courtois. And Real Madrid went in front for the first time through Rodrigo, who converted a sumptuous cross from substitute Vinicius Junior. 74 minutes on the clock when the Brazilians combined to make it 2-1. Espanyol then carelessly lost possession in the midfield. Mbappe gave it to Vinicius, who provided the finish to make it 3-1, scoring his third goal of the season, his first from open play. An accurate finish, which gave Real Madrid some breathing space, and they were on course for all 3 points. They were able to add a fourth goal after substitute Endrick won a penalty. There was a very careless foul by Romero, And so Kylian Mbappe stepped up to take the penalty and score and make it 4-1 with his 6th goal in the white of Real Madrid. So Real Madrid have now gone 38 league games undefeated. They beat Espanyol 4-1 at the Bernabeu.
On Sunday night, a Madrid derby took place at Vallecas. It was Rayo Vallecano up against Atletico Madrid, and there was an early chance for Alexander Sorloth. Block from Cease allowed Lino to get onto the ball. He dragged a shot towards goal, and it was saved by Batalla between the sticks for Rayo Vallecano. This was another chance, but for Rayo Vallecano at the other end, Mbarba putting Jan Oblak to the test. Julian Alvarez was unlucky not to open the scoring as his shot bounced off the crossbar. And this run through provided an opportunity for Ratiu. He kept his cool, played across, and Isi Palazon scored, initially given as offside. VAR was checked. On 34 minutes, Rayo Vallecano took the lead. So that Azpilicueta would have to go off injured after an awkward landing for him. Azpilicueta going to ground. Gimenez would replace him as he went off just before the end of the first half. Sorloth was able to go through on goal. He kept his cool when the defender attempted to boot the ball into touch. Sort of playing back, and Gallagher turned the ball into the net, side-footing home, low into the bottom right corner. Put Atletico Madrid back on terms. Rayo Vallecano looked to go out in front again. This was Jorge de Frutos going inside. His deflected shot was little trouble for Jan Oblak. Alvarez had another attempt, pushed away by Batalla. It didn't come to Antoine Griezmann, who'd been brought on for the second half, along with Angel Correa. Outside for Rayo Vallecano, created an opportunity. James Rodriguez, who had come on late on in the second half, sent one trickling towards goal. Another easy save in the end for Oblak. This cutback could have resulted in a winning goal for Atleti. Angel Correa, so often a late goal scorer, was unable to beat Batalla at the near post. The final score at Vallecas, Rayo Vallecano 1, Atletico Madrid 1. Sevilla continue to look for their best form at the start of the campaign, and were defeated at Mendizorroza in a game to forget for Xavier Francisco Garcia Pimienta's men. The only positive note was given by Dodi Lukebakio, who was without a doubt the most outstanding of his players and scored the best goal of the match day. Taking advantage of the Belgians' break, Saul Niguez threaded a pass behind the defence. Lukebakio controlled the ball with his right leg and immediately whipped a left-footed shot into the top corner past Antonio Severa. It was a goal that in the end went unrewarded, but at least served to give hope to the fans of Sevilla.
Athletic Club picked up all 3 points in match day 6 at San Mamés against Celta de Vigo. The visitors looking for their first points on the road this season, but they were denied by Ernesto Valverde's side. No Nico Williams in the squad for them, as he picked up an injury against Leganés in midweek. It was a strong start, as usual, at San Mamés from the Lions. Just 55 seconds into this one, Gorka Guruzeta flashed this header over the crossbar. Oscar Mingueza sustained a muscular injury. He had to go off. Marcos Alonso, in the time in between that injury and that substitution, they were down to 10 men. Well, they were punished for it because Gorka Guruzeta scored, the quickest to react to this loose ball inside the box. A real poacher's finish from Guruzeta, claiming his first goal of the season. Marcos Alonso eventually did come on. Claudio Giraldez perhaps feeling that one took a little bit longer than he would have liked, but nevertheless Celta were playing very good football and they were rewarded with this penalty from Julen Aguirre-Zabala on Yago Aspas. No mistake from the skipper down the middle, just a couple of inches away from Aguirre-Zabala's boots, from his studs even. But it was 1-1. And Celta playing some very good football and having the lion's share of the possession. Having a lot of joy down the left-hand side where Bamba linked up with Marcos Alonso. His acrobatic flick was saved by Aguirre-Zabala at the near post. Here, Aspas again at the heart of the attack, linking up with Dubicas. He plays it back to Aspas. It's in the back of the net, but Yago Aspas is offside. And when Athletic were struggling the most, Alex Berenguer put in this beautiful cross for Gorka Guruzeta, who flew in with a powerful header. It's Athletic Club's ABC. It's their bread and butter, the cross from Berenguer. Guruzeta scoring his second goal of the evening. A better performance from the Basques in the second half. Berenguer again causing all kinds of problems for the Celta defence. His shot denied there at the near post by Guaita. Where they did find spaces time and time and again was on the left-hand side. Marcos Alonso linking up with Jonathan Bamba. Padilla, who came on for Aguirre-Zabala during the half-time interval. Getting a slight touch on that shot there. And moments later, Celta would be punished by this powerful run from Iñaki Williams. His cross is met by the header of Álvaro Jaló, who scores his first goal as an Athletic Club player, his first goal in LaLiga EA Sports after his summer signing from Sporting Braga. So good news all around for Athletic Club, with both centre forwards getting their names on the score sheet. There was still a late chance for Celta to pull a goal back. Yago Aspas, always at the heart of their attacks, teeing up William Svedberg, but his connection wasn't clean as he drilled that shot wide. Another disappointing away trip for Celta de Vigo, but a perfect week for Athletic Club, who picked up 9 points out of 9.
Valencia and Girona went head-to-head on match day 6 at Mestalla. Valencia were coming into this game on just 1 point and rock bottom of the table, looking for their first 3 points of this new season. Girona were looking to bounce back from defeats in LaLiga against Barcelona and their first defeat in the Champions League away to PSG. Arnaud Danjuma tried to take the lead here. He was one of 8 changes that Michel made to the starting 11. He did mention there are going to be rotations in midweek, but he failed to hit the target. So to Didier Lopez at the other end. Rubén Baraja making just 2 changes to the side that fell 3-0 away to Atletico de Madrid last time out. It was a game that was fairly level in the first half. In fact, so level that there were no shots on target in the first 45 minutes. The action and the drama all took place in the second period. Images of that second half, in fact, where very early doors Asprilla, on his first start for Girona, tried to pick out Abel Ruiz, but the Girona frontman decided to let the ball go behind him, thinking it was going to pick out the bottom corner. Luis Rioja almost set up Dani Gomez for the opener, but the former Levante striker could only hit the side netting. The two having a very quiet first 45 minutes respectively, but coming alive in the second half. Dele Blin would then pick out Arnaud Danjuma, but after being put under pressure by Thierry Correa, could only put his shot straight into the graceful grasp of Georgi Mamardashvili. Valencia, though, would take the lead, and they would do so without an actual shot on target. Luis Rioja, whose effort was going wide of the goal, saw his shot come off the Girona captain Juanpe, and it went all the way past Paulo Gazzaniga. You can see the trajectory of the ball was not on goal, but Juanpe, the Girona captain, who was making his first start in La Liga this season, was at fault for seeing that ball go into the back of the net, and that saw Girona go 1-0 down. The unfortunate news, though, for Girona is that things went from bad to worse, as just 2 minutes later, Dani Gomez would make it 2-0, again with a deflected shot off the Girona captain. This one, though, would be given in favour of the Valencia striker, as his original shot was going in between the sticks. And for Dani Gomez, it was his first goal in a Valencia shirt, leading the line in the absence of the injured Hugo Duro. He won't care one little bit, though, that it took a deflection of Juanpe, as it went past Gazzaniga regardless, and Valencia out of nowhere were 2-0 up against Girona. The save of the game, though, was made by Georgi Mamardashvili, as Gabriel Masehui had come on in the second half off the bench, and his header from a corner was kept out of the bottom corner by the Georgian international. What a save from the Valencia shot stopper. There was a shout for a handball from Girona, but it ultimately wasn't reviewed, either because it was just offside or because the infraction was just outside the penalty area. Regardless, play carried on. Later on in the half, Kresci came close to scoring his first goal in La Liga, but his header went straight into the hands of Mamardashvili. The final chance for Girona, though, would drop for Alejandro Frances, but the Girona fullback was unable to put the effort on target, despite the layoff from Masehui. Valencia picked up their first victory of the new season as they beat Girona by 2-0 at Mestalla.
Stalemate in the José Zorrilla. Valladolid and Real Sociedad both finding goals hard to come by at the moment, and neither able to break down the opposition on this occasion. Marta Acre, the judoka who won bronze at the Paralympics, was honoured pre-match. There was a start for Ori Oscarson. Cenk had to come off early on. An important clearance inside the 6-yard box, denying Oscarson, prevented a goal, but also cost Cenk his possibilities to complete the match. He went off with a muscle injury. David Torres came on. Chance for Moro by the Liderone. He scored 2 goals this season. Both of them have come from Raul Moro, but on that occasion he sent that one over the top. This is a great break from Real Sociedad. It's Kubo's pass. Becker races clear, and it's a lung-busting run to get back to make the clearance from Amala. Fantastic defending from him. Whether he got the touch or whether in the end it was Karl-Heinz. Another opportunity there just before the break. It was Becker's header, Karl-Heinz with the save. He was excellent, the Estonian goalkeeper on loan from Arsenal. Difficult one, headed down, and he makes the save. Images from the second half. Latassa going for goal from the centre circle. Optimistic in terms of beating Ramiro, one of Spain's best goalkeepers from there. Good header here from Latassa, helped on by Kiki Perez. Raul Moro is away. Ramiro makes the save. Down at the other end, Geraldo Becker with this cross. Oyarzábal had come on, he headed high and wide. Oyarzábal has replaced Oscarsson. Here he is again, Oyarzábal. Back to Zubimendi. Threads it through to Kubo. And Kubo is denied. And so is Zubimendi. Zubimendi denied by 18-year-old Abdoulaye Djoumabar. Good debut from him, although he did have to come off with an injury just after this incident. Another opportunity for Real Sociedad here. It's actually turned in by Oyarzábal, who's in front of Zubimendi. That's why the goal doesn't count. Zubimendi's off. Oyarzábal is offside. If Zubimendi finishes this himself, then the goal stands. Ola Sagasti plays the ball out to Kubo. Kubo to Becker, and Becker off the crossbar. Real Sociedad coming ever closer, but still no goal for them. And very late on, Becker with a run and shot, which is comfortably saved by Karl-Heinz. And that's the way it finished in the José Zorrilla. Final score, Valladolid 0, Real Sociedad 0.
The southern Madrid derby started with a novelty in the Leganés goal. Marko Dimitrovic made his debut for his new club. The Serbian goalkeeper left his mark on his first appearance. And in this action, Dimitrovic made not only the best save of the match day, but what will surely be one of the saves of the season in LaLiga. A beautiful acrobatic finish from Arambari was met by a simply unbelievable stop. A reflex save deflected the ball onto the crossbar and prevented a goal that seemed certain. It ended up giving Borja Jimenez's men a point from their visit to the Coliseum. What would have been a spectacular goal ended up as the best save of the match day for Marko Dimitrovic. At El Sadar, Osasuna hosted Las Palmas on match day 6. The visiting side still looking for their first win of the season. Several changes were made by the Las Palmas side for this game. Dario Asuko got a starting run. He played through to Moleiro. Herrera had slipped up when backpedaling, but was able to make himself big in the one-on-one and prevent a shot through his legs from the Las Palmas talent. That was followed up by a ball knocked into the net by Boyomo. The goal would not stand. He had handled the ball as it bounced up to reach him. But a decision did go Osasuna's way just after this ball had been headed against the post by Herzog at the back. Almost an own goal from him. So delivery played over to Ante Budimir was reached by him with a grab of his shirt from Mika Marmol. He went down inside the area. A penalty was given in Osasuna's favour. It was coolly dispatched as well by Ante Budimir. Rolled into the net by the Croatian to hand Osasuna the lead. The lead did not last long. Sandro Ramirez dealt a gorgeous crossover. And it was headed in by Moleiro. First headed goal of the season for him, his second goal in total since the season got underway. In the second half, McBurney was brought on. There was a suspicion he was offside when he received the ball. He played to Fabio Silva, and eventually the flag was raised at the far side. Las Palmas had a chance on the turn for Fabio Silva. He put it wide. The breakthrough from Aymar Oroz allowed him to slide the ball home. It turned out to be the winning goal. The defence closing him down. Oroz able to provide the finish and take the score to 2-1 in Osasuna's favour. There were further chances, including one for Al Garcia de Arro. He put it wide after breaking into the area. The break for Garcia de Arro. Saw him square the ball. It came to Ibanez, and Silerson made the save. Another cross in late on was headed rather softly towards goal and caught by Silerson. The final score at El Sadar: Osasuna 2, Las Palmas 1.
Getafe and Leganés met in the derby of the south of Madrid in Sunday's opening game in La Liga EA Sports. 3 points and local bragging rights up for grabs as Jose Bordas looked on from the stands. Omar Alderete trying to give his boss something to cheer about with an early free kick up and over the Lega wall, but Marko Dimitrovic making a comfortable save. Then Juan Cruz latched onto Munir's pass. His effort came back off the post. Oscar Rodriguez with the follow-up, denied by David Soria. Leganés finding a way through, but just unable to open the scoring. Still they pressed. Renato Tapia with a good ball out wide to Juan Cruz once again on this left-hand side. His ball in, controlled by Munir. David Soria sticking out a leg The turn behind the former Getafe player's cross at the near post. It appeals for a penalty as Genet went down under a challenge from Tapia. The on-field decision was ball one first, and VAR agreed. There is the referee explaining why no penalty was given. Getafe continued to press. It was Mauro Arambari with an acrobatic effort that produced a stunning save from Dimitrovic. The LaLiga keeper turning the wonderful effort onto the bar with a wonderful save. Start of the second half, Getafe having an early corner. Luis Milla sending it in. Genet Dakonam heading wide. Then Leganés would take the lead. Roberto Lopez off the bench to send the ball into the area, and Jorge Sainz latching onto it to send it past David Soria and send the Leganés supporters into celebratory mode. Delight amongst the visiting fans. 75 minutes played and the away team in front. Sainz with a firm connection. David Soria looking across to the linesman for a flag that wasn't to come. So Getafe having to look for an equaliser, and they were gifted an opportunity to do just that, draw level. Jorge Sainz having just scored, then connecting with Diego Rico, the referee pointing at the spot. Penalty given to Getafe. Round Valentin Rossier, and as he played the ball back here, Diego Rico caught there by Sainz, and that gave Borja Mayoral the chance to level his first goal since recovering from a knee injury, coming off the bench, the Getafe number 9, to make it 1-1. And that's how it ended in the derby in the south of Madrid. Getafe 1, Leganés 1.
Match day 6 in La Liga EA Sports kicked off with the game between Deportivo Alavés and Sevilla at Mendizorroza. Deportivo Alavés were looking to extend their undefeated streak to 3 games on home soil so far this season. Sevilla were looking for back-to-back victories for the first time this term after narrowly beating Getafe last time out. It was also their first win of this new season. A tough start for García Pimienta and his men. And yet Isaac Romero and Sevilla had the first chance of the evening, just a few minutes in. Not hitting the target did Isaac Romero, who would actually have to be replaced minutes later due to injury. And straight after that, at the other end, Deportivo Alavés with their first clear chance of the game. In fact, their first shot on target of the matchup. They took the lead. Nerland with a very big mistake at his front post, but Carlos Vicente with the goal to make it 1-0, his second of this new season. Tony Martinez was making his first start since joining Deportivo Alavés, and yet having scored 2 goals in his first 3 appearances. But on this occasion, he could not hit the back of the net despite getting the better of Quique Salas. Alavés, though, would eventually put the ball into the back of the net for a second time in the first half, and it was Stoichkov just helping it over the line despite the best efforts from Nerland. You can see eventually from the angle that indeed Stoichkov's goal should have counted in that regard, but it was called out, or ruled out I should say, because Carlos Vicente was in an offside position in the build-up. Therefore, no first goal in the top flight for the Alaves frontman. Tenaglia too here, unable to score, but a fairly simple save for the Sevilla goalkeeper. Images now of the second half, and it was Saul Niguez with the first shot on target of the game for Sevilla. Unfortunately for him, he could only send it straight into the hands of Sivera. Kelechi Iheanacho had come on in the first half to replace the injured Isaac Romero. Alaves scored the opener 15 minutes into the first half, and they scored their second 15 minutes into the second half. Carlos Martin, he didn't know too much about it, but on his first start for the club, he scored his first goal in the top flight. Again, it's a long ball from Sivera that's won by Carlos Vicente, the MVP of the match on the night. Constantly causing havoc down the right-hand side here, getting the better of Adria Pedrosa. Plays the ball across. Stoichkov still looking for his goal, hits the crossbar. And the ball actually comes straight off Carlos Martin's hip. Again, not too sure he knew too much about it, but they all count the same. And that is the first goal for Martin in the top flight, and it meant 2-0 for Deportivo Alavés. It was almost 3-0 just a few minutes later as Stoichkov got the better of Adria Pedrosa. But here, Oyan Nerland was able to parry the ball away for a corner. Sevilla weren't too much of a threat going forward really throughout the entirety of the game until the final minutes, as Saul would thread a good ball through into space for Dodi Luquebacchio, who did really well to score his second goal of this season. A lovely left-footed strike. Took a slight deflection off Sedlar, but regardless, it was going into the back of the net. It ended just like that, though, at Mendizorroza. Deportivo Alavés 2-1 winners against Sevilla.
A win for Mallorca on the road at the Benito Villamarin. This was a fun watch. Chances for both sides throughout the game with a hot start and an excellent finish. There really wasn't much more you could ask for. Betis and Mallorca meeting on a Monday, and it started early too. Giovanni Lo Celso scored 2 goals against Getafe midweek. He comes out on a Monday night at home, 3rd home game in a row, and he does this 7 minutes into the game. 1-0 Betis. His second time around at the club, and he's making a lot of friends. Dominic Grief with no chance to put a stop to that, but this is 82 seconds later, right off of the restart. Kyle Larin, Dani Rodriguez, thank you very much. 1-1. In a game that had so many chances for both sides, the first 2 clear ones were put away, and with ease. Second goal of the season for Rodriguez. And then the chances kept coming throughout both halves for both teams. It was Betis who had the majority of the ball. Vitor Roque there with that effort. And Robert Navarro put this in for Samu Costa, who headed it on target but needed to find somewhere around Rui Silva. Went right into his arms. Then there was a moment that we thought might see the game change. A red card to Giovanni Lo Celso, who's shocked at that result. VAR would get involved. He got the ball. He didn't have his studs up. And VAR rightfully says that's not a red, it's a yellow. Lo Celso gets to stay in the game. So the first half continued. Mallorca, whenever they had the ball, which was not as often as Betis, they made the most of it. This was a real chance for Navarro. He was onside. Darder wasn't. So even though he puts it into the back of the net, it was an offside for Darder. Had Navarro scored, it would have worked. Into the second half we roll. And how about this as a first touch for Abde? He gets around Antonio Sanchez and then goes double posty. Couldn't make it 2-1. It would have been a world-class goal, but he just couldn't bend it around into that far corner. And the first touch contagion continued for Chimi Avila, who gets the return here from Altimira and sets up Victor Roque, and one of the many saves for Dominic Grief in this game to keep Mallorca level at a goal apiece. And again, Mallorca were pushing. They had their chances too in the second half. This is a free header for Roberto Navarro. Nobody near him. Just couldn't muster up the power to send this into either corner. And then right towards the end of the game, Dominic Grief came up with another big save. Back post bound, the substitute, Aitor Ruibal. Oh, Grief again. And it stayed 1-1, saving a point for Mallorca and what would turn out to be more than that. A strong right hand from Grief. And on the other end, one final corner in stoppage time for Mallorca, and the substitute, Valery Fernandez. That's a winner on the road for Mallorca. And the man on loan from Girona scores his first goal for his loan club. Mallorca come into Betis and steal 3 points. Have to say that it was deserved. And they've moved into the European spots temporarily. On a Monday night, the final score, it's Betis 1, Mallorca 2.
Vinicius Jr. had not begun the season at the stratospheric level to which he has got fans accustomed. In the match against Espanyol, Carlo Ancelotti decided to rest him from the start. But after the break, the Brazilian appeared, again at his best, to guide Real Madrid's comeback. He tried with insistence from the moment he entered the pitch. And in the 75th minute, he found his reward in the form of an assist with this sensational service from the left wing for Rodrigo to convert. Shortly after, the Brazilian got one of his own, taking advantage of Kylian Mbappe's pass and beating Joan Garcia. In just half an hour of action, Vinicius Jr. became the decisive man at the Bernabeu and was the best player of matchday 6 in LaLiga EA Sports.
Beginning with a look at the results from match day 6, which began on Friday when Deportivo Alavés picked up a victory at home against Sevilla. Friday into Monday, this match day went a lot of teams at home picking up victories. Alavés, Osasuna, Valencia, Real Madrid, Athletic Club. But once we turned to Sunday, the later slate, a few road teams getting wins. Barça 5-1 at La Cerámica. Mallorca grab a late winner at the Benito Villamarín against Real Betis. All but 3 teams getting on the mark on match day 6, and that takes us to the table where indeed Barça are our leaders. 18 points from a possible 18. A couple of surprises further up the chain. Mallorca with their win move into the 5th slot, albeit with an extra game played. And if you look further down the table, only 2 teams remain in the league without a victory. Getafe have 4 draws in 6 games. Las Palmas have 4 losses through 6 games. From match day 6, we move forward to match day 7. Midweek fixtures, 2 of those games have already been played last midweek because Real Sociedad and Athletic Club both have Europa League to play. So we begin with a Tuesday night battle in Sevilla, Valencia at home as well, Real Madrid home to Alavés. 2 games on Wednesday in Catalunya, Girona hosting Rayo, Barça against Getafe, and it wraps up on Thursday, Espanyol Villarreal, Las Palmas Betis, and Celta against Atlético de Madrid.